Hi my loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Natasha, and in today's video I want to share 5 perspectives or perspective shifts that you need to consider when it comes to your glow up journey, your self-improvement journey, that thing you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, that thing that you're doing to make yourself better than who you were yesterday. Here are some 5 perspective shifts that you definitely need to consider. You need to start considering or approaching life like it is contagious, okay? Whether it is negative or positive, whatever it is contagious, okay? So for instance, hard work is contagious, laziness is contagious, being grateful is contagious, complaining is contagious. Do you get where I'm going with this? Okay. Whatever you're surrounded by eventually will rub off onto you. And if you take time to notice this, to really observe the world around you, you will start noticing this. Birds of the same feather flock together, okay? So moving forward, you need to be a lot more intentional about the people you allow in your space, the people that you surround yourself with. Now, this is not to say that if your friend is going through like a tough time, that now you must avoid them at all costs. No. But I'll give you an example, right? So I used to do promotions years ago, and you know, when you do an activation, you show up at a store or wherever the venue is, and you kind of need to promote and sell that product that you're promoting. A lot of my team members, guys, would constantly complain about them being there, how they didn't want to be there and whatnot. And I realized that these people don't enjoy being there, and because they don't enjoy being there, they don't do a good job when they're promoting, and by not doing a good job, they are not hired for other jobs. So definitely take that into consideration when it comes to your perspective shifts or your self-improvement journey. You need to approach everything like it's contagious, because at the end of the day, you do want to start or adopt a mentality or a lifestyle that feels like life is always half, like your cup is half full and never half empty, okay? The second perspective shift is to seek better, okay? Some time ago, my friends and I were just chilling and we were talking about work, and my one friend mentioned how she likes to get awards at work, right? Personally, I've never been competitive in that sense, or even like cared about work. Sorry, there's something. I was like, what is that? Kantetia? I've never really cared about you know, awards in that sense, but I really like meditated on what she said, and it hit me that like her getting the awards are affirmations that she's doing better at her job. And so moving forward, my like goal also is to start seeking better. In order for me to seek, or rather, in order for me to live better, I need to know better, and I can't do that if I don't seek better, right? Ultimately, you avoid the risk of being like comfortable or complacent with where you are, because it's so easy for us to achieve one goal and feel like we've hit the limit. There actually is a higher limit or a higher ceiling beyond that goal, and so seeking better will definitely help you evolve in that way. And this doesn't necessarily have to be in your career. For instance, my gran would always make sure that like once a month we would go out and eat at a restaurant. We didn't have much, but we always managed to go eat out at a restaurant at least once a month. And that kind of trained our taste buds to kind of crave more, because my brother and I did majority of the cooking at home. And so us eating out kind of like expanded our taste buds, so we weren't complacent, or we weren't repetitive in our cooking back home. So definitely seek more, okay? Seek more, guys, please. Now that you can seek better, please do better. Okay, it doesn't make sense for you to like stay stuck in your old ways if you are trying to seek better and trying to improve your life, because ultimately that can create like a sense of fear, and fear not necessarily in how we associate fear, but fear of trying something different, fear of just going out there and like pushing your boundaries a little bit more, okay? I'm just going back to what I said about like the example I made with my grandmother making sure that we eat out once a month. I have noticed that like back home, there's some people who would never try Asian food, or who would never try like Latin food because it's not something that they're used to, or they actually wouldn't even try like East African food. And I love East African food so much. So when you don't do better, or when you don't seek better, both of those together, because those go hand in hand, you ultimately create like a barrier of your world and the rest of the world, and you don't know better and you don't experience so much more, which I think can make your self-improvement so much more harder, especially when you're trying to get better or live a better lifestyle. You can't do so if you confine yourself to like your past and what you used to. Okay, so the fourth perspective shift is that effort actually creates luck, right? Growing up, I was always under the impression that everyone has like their fair share of like happiness and sadness, and everyone gets an equal share of joy and all of these things, and life distributes these emotions and these feelings over time in different doses, right? But now, the older that I get, the more I realize that effort actually creates luck, right? In the sense that when you put effort in to be a little bit more happier or do things that make you happier, there's a sense, there's like luck that comes with it. I actually don't know how to put it in words very well, but I really hope you understand me. Please let me know down in the comment section if like we're on the same page, right? But what I'm trying to say is that after like some time, when you start putting in the effort, luck follows, okay? It's kind of like a pattern that happens, and you put yourself in spaces that allow like blessings to come in. You put yourself in spaces that allow like things to manifest much more easier. I think, for instance, the best example would be working out. If you are going to the gym a lot more often, you put yourself in a space where maybe like you inspire someone else, or you get inspired, or you meet someone else there that like has shared goals with you. I don't know. I don't know how to put it in words, but like effort creates luck, guys. I so yeah. The 5 perspective shift, my darling, and this one is like one of the most important. I feel like the most important out of all of the perspective shifts that I have shared, the most important is definitely the first one that I mentioned, where you have to take life like it's contagious. And I'd say this is the second most important. Accept what you can't control. Accept what you can't control, okay? Let God or higher source energy, or whatever you call that higher source power, that omnipotent power, that energy, let it take control. Let go. You let go of control. Learn to accept things that you can control. The second you start doing this, I promise you, number one, it makes so much time in your life, because you kind of cut out the time that you would have spent worrying about something. You cut out the time that you would have spent trying to figure something out or trying to fix something. Let life unfold the way that it wants to unfold, and accept that you can't control it. It is okay that friendship that you're holding on to, it is okay if you can't stay friends and you guys are moving in different directions. Except that you can't control that life is gonna evolve, that the both of you are gonna evolve into, you know, different paths. Accept that that relationship didn't work out, that you guys weren't compatible, whatever it is. Accept that you can not control it. Because I actually write my script, guys. If you don't know this, I actually write my script. So I read down my notes. I'm not really a good freestyler, and I'm trying to like get better at that. So if this video is a little wishy-washy, I'm sorry about that. But let me just read to you what I actually wrote down here. You will waste so much of your time trying to control things, right? And I get it. When I started vision boarding, for instance, I was so hung up on the idea that my dream life would manifest in a specific way. Years later, I've come to realize that the things I have now, the things that I have prayed for, came into my life in unexpected ways. Always remember that rejection is redirection. And when you let go of the how and when, I promise you life will be so much better. And this is so weird because on my vision board, there was an apartment that I wanted, right? And it's on my vision board, right? And when I lived in Joburg, so I don't live in Joburg anymore, but when I lived in Joburg, I was just so hung up on like finding an apartment that looked exactly like this, and I couldn't find one. Now, fast forward through my career, I ended up in a different city, and the city that I lived in, the apartment that I found had the exact like aesthetic that I had on my vision board. So just guys, like, your life will just be so much more easier and so much more better if you learn to accept that there are things you cannot control. Rather focus your energy on the things that you can control. You'll have a lot more better life, or like a better time accepting the things, or rather focusing your energy on the things that you can control. You will build a lot more momentum in your goals or your achievements when you focus on what you can control and accept the things that you cannot control. Well, that is it for the rest of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please comment down below your thoughts. That's it for today. Please make sure that you like this video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.